don't do bikes.
Yeah. Don't ride bikes between cities.
I actually would still like to do that. Just don't buy your bikes from a pawn shop.
Yeah, and don't let him, who bought a trailer for mine to carry the backpacks, although it only ended up being able to carry one.
Yeah.
Don't let the guy at the store attach the trailer.
Because he won't do it correctly.
Yeah, and it messed everything up.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, it was not great.
As far as intercity travel in Europe, most of the time people are going to suggest you get the rail pass, but I very much disagree.
So expensive.
It's so much more expensive than riding the bus.
Now, I get incredibly motion sick, car sick especially, and like I got occasionally sick on the buses, but if I sat towards the front, it was all good, and it's probably on average a third or a quarter of the price of the trains.
Oh, yes. And as far as the companies go, Flixbus, we've talked about them numerous times, but you can get rides for $1.
It's more in Central Europe, also Italy, Slovenia. I think. Well, I don't think they were in Slovenia,
Yeah.
but like the Netherlands,
Italy,
Germany,
yeah,
the kind of Central Europe.
Yeah, I would say definitely take the bus over the train most of the time. There are some very beautiful train routes that you can take. We took one in Norway that was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, I took one going from Copenhagen to Stockholm that was very beautiful.
Yeah. And they generally get there an hour or so quicker than a bus would.
It's just not. It's not worth the money in the end, but
yeah, it's not.
It's far more convenient.
Yeah, it's still worth it.
But also, look into Ryanair. You can fly Ryanair certain places for 30 euros.
Even less sometimes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So don't immediately rule out flying, because there are many times it's cheaper than the train even.
Yeah. I mean, there are flights around Europe that are $16.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. That also brings us to a website/app that we have talked about before, which is Rome to Rio.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests, if you plug in a route, it suggests a whole bunch of different ways to get there.
You can't actually book anything on there. It just shows you the route, and then you can go on Skyscanner or Hostel World or Booking, or
it'll also
Go
take you
Euro.
to the sites where you need to go. Like it'll show you a price range and say this is how much it'll cost to get there if you're going by train, by bus, by plane, and it'll take you to those sites where you can book those numbers, and it's very solid.
There's also an app called Go Euro, which it shows you train routes, bus routes, even plane routes, plane flights between cities, and that's a useful app as well. Rome to Rio will kind of give you the general price and the best route to go, and then Go Euro will tell you exactly what that price is, and but use Rome to Rio first to figure out probably the best route to go.
Yeah. So bus over train, Ryanair over everything.
Ryanair is great, and it's a good airline though. I never felt unsafe. The stewardesses were always very nice. Stewards, I'm sorry, some of them were men.
Flight attendants.
Sure, that. They were all nice, and it's a good airline. So.
Yeah.
And there's another one. What's the other? It's like there's another crap one.
Lion Air.
God no.
Red Foreman. Turkish Airlines. Red Square.
What? EasyJet.
I don't have any experience with it. Do you?
Well, no, but I saw it on there and it was cheap.
Okay, an airline that we don't have any experience with, but we've
seen it and it's cheap.
Is EasyJet.
EasyJet. I haven't heard good things, but it is cheap.
Yeah.
It's very cheap. I mean, I saw
you can't get a flight on Ryanair.
Yeah. Sometimes it was even cheaper than Ryanair, but we had known Ryanair and we felt safe with Ryanair, so we went with Ryanair.
Yeah, those Irish airlines are always good.
Sure.
Yeah, to sum up, intercity travel in Europe, bus first, Ryanair second, train third. Rental cars are also somewhat cheap.
Yeah, they are.
You can get, for instance, I'm going to Spain later this year, you can get a rental car for 10 days for $150. So that about does it for this week's edition of Travel Tips. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Drop a like on the video if you found it useful. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. He runs our Twitter.
More or less.
We also have a website that you can go to, backtothepeacefulsea.com, full of all sorts of interesting
Good
things.
photos. You kind of, some budget tips and how much we spent and etc. So.
Yeah. That about wraps it up. We will see you next week for another edition of Travel Tips.